For more analysis, we're joined by Thitinan Pongsudhirak, professor of political science and international relations at Chulalongkorn University. He's also senior fellow at the Institute of Security and International Studies. Thanks, Professor, for joining us. Our first question for you today has to do in regards to the latest court hearing. What does this mean for Ms. Shinawat's political future?
Well, it means a precarious limbo. She's been suspended from her duty as Prime Minister, as we know. She continues to be in cabinet because the cabinet reshuffle that came out, that was endorsed just hours before the suspension, granted her position in cabinet as a culture minister. So she can still attend cabinet meetings, but she has 15 days to explain herself, come up with a defense, and then after that, the Constitutional Court will rule whether she'll be ejected or exonerated, allowed to continue. The omen is not good because the judgment to accept the case and to suspend her was 9-0 to accept and then 7-2 to suspend her while the deliberations take place. So that means that her chance is pretty dicey. It means that even if she is allowed back, she'll have a hard time governing because of the slim majority of the coalition government, because of her weakened position, and that leaked audio clip with Hun Sen. I think is deeply damaging. It's long-lasting. So I think public sentiments also have turned against her. Very difficult for her, whether she's ejected or she's allowed back in as Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm. And regarding that public sentiment, would this affect any political scenarios that may come out, whether that be court removal, early elections, or even internal party reshuffles?
Well, there was a cabinet reshuffle already. I think that now some people are calling for returning mandate to the people, that maybe the acting Prime Minister, Phumtham Wechayachai, when he takes over on Friday after the swearing-in ceremony, that maybe he can call a snap election, go to the polls again. That would be probably the optimal way out of this crisis. But if not that, and she's ejected, the Parliament will have to reconvene in the lower house, and then they would have to choose a new Prime Minister, and that could be someone from Pheu Thai Party. There are two candidates there. It could be the Phumjai Thai Party, Anutin Chanvirakul. There, Setha was ejected, but he was not barred from renomination, so his name is still eligible. I mean, Chaikase Nitisiri from Pheu Thai also still eligible, but it's very murky in that sense. I think that moving towards a new poll and returning mandate to the people might be the best way out.
Mm-hmm. And could we elaborate more on the potential candidates that may be replacing the Prime Minister?
Because of the constitution from the coup period in 2017, each party had to nominate before the election names for the premiership, and up to 3 names. In the case of Pheu Thai, they had 3 names. Other parties had 1 name or 2 names. In Pheu Thai's case, there are 2 more names left. I mean, Setha was ejected, as I mentioned, but he can still be renominated for another go. Chaikase Nitisiri, older, not so strong in health, and then the Anutin Chanvirakul I mentioned from Phumjai Thai Party, if Paetongtarn is ousted while the National Assembly stays in place. If the National Assembly is dissolved, then they will have a new election. So basically, those are the 2 main avenues. Otherwise, we would have an appointed assembly of some kind, and that would require some kind of a military intervention.
And as we've mentioned numerous times, the Paetongtarn government's crisis is actually taking a light as to whether the Shinawat political dominance may be affected as well. What's your take on that?
Certainly, as your introduction enumerated, I mean, you have not just Paetongtarn, but her father, Thaksin Shinawat, in legal trouble, 2 cases against him involving royal defamation as well. Uncle-in-law was already ousted before, and then her aunt, Yingluck Shinawat, spectacularly was deposed after protests and after judicial intervention. So either you have a judicial intervention, this dissolution of ruling parties, or you have a military intervention. And that's been a way, it's been systematic, there's a pattern to it. So Shinawat, the Shinawat family now, I think that they will be looking very hard at the road ahead, because they lost the election in 2023. And with what's happened here, I think 2 things are going against them. they betrayed the mandate after the election in 2023 by splitting away from the Move Forward party, from that alliance. They were supposed to be in government together. And then in addition, I think this leaked audio tape is very damaging to the family as well, to Paetongtarn in particular. So if they go to a new poll, that's why they're reluctant. They will not do as well, and probably not as well as 2023.
And you mentioned military intervention, and currently there are rumors of a potential military coup. So what conditions would make this scenario possibly likely?
It's very sad and frustrating to say, but in the past last 20 years, Thailand has seen a series of interventions, either from the military or judiciary, sometimes paved by street protests, and that has led to undemocratic changes of government. The military, I think that they don't want to. After the last coup in 2014, they didn't do so well. The economy suffered international criticism, so they would be reluctant, I think, to intervene in the same fashion. But the longer this drags on, if Thailand becomes intractable, ungovernable, nothing gets done, there's policy inertia, then there'll be calls for them to break the impasse somehow. I think they're reluctant, but that option is not off the table. Let's see how long this whole process drags on. If not too long, then we'll see some kind of a resolution and some way out of it.
And Professor, before we let you go, I would like to expand the scope to how this political crisis in Thailand is going to be affecting its relations with neighboring countries. This crisis seems to have been triggered by a clash with Cambodia, right? So will Thailand have to take a more harder line approach when it comes to this ongoing dispute moving forward?
The Thai-Cambodian relations have suffered. I think this is a new low. The Cambodian government also has taken Thailand to the International Court of Justice on 4 claims along the border. And during the deliberations by the ICJ, the relationship between the 2 countries will be sour, will be bitter. And this is also a big headache for ASEAN. The ASEAN, the Malaysia is chairing, and Malaysia has not had a role as a chair because I think the PM Anwar Ibrahim, he appointed Thaksin as advisor on Myanmar. So it's very hard for him to now offer to mediate between Thailand and Cambodia because Cambodia might not trust him as an honest broker. And the Philippines is the next chair. We're looking at about 2 or 3 years during the ICJ adjudication when both countries will have very sour and confrontational, contentious relationship. Not good for Thailand and Cambodia and not good for ASEAN.
It will affect not only relations with Cambodia, but as you mentioned, ASEAN as well. Thank you so much for your insightful answers. That was Thitinan Pongsudhirak, Professor of Political Science and International Relations at Chulalongkorn University. He's also Senior Fellow at the Institute of Security and International Studies.